This is great. All right, let me just get situated here. Hello. Hello, everyone who's watching. I see there are right now 36 people watching. Um, Give us a thumbs up if it sounds good. I know that Lee is manning the comments right now, so thank you, Lee. Lee's the other co-founder of ArtSnacks. All right, so let's get into it. Happy Ephemera Hour.
Hey.
So for everyone who is joining us, welcome. I'm realizing that we're starting like face forward here, which is funny because I made a sign that says ephemera hour for when we go top down. Um, Not used to the YouTube situation compared to our the Instagram. So for those of you who are joining us, welcome to Ephemera Hour. I'm Sarah. I am one of the co-founders of ArtSnacks, the monthly subscription box for art supplies. And it's also part of the ArtJournalSnacks and Watercolor Snacks world. So I am going to be hosting this, and I brought with me today Erin. Dr. Erin, tell us about yourself. What do you do?
Hello, everybody. I am an art therapist and an art journaler, longtime avid art journaler, and the artist in residence for the Art Journal Snacks project. And Sarah and I have been talking about doing this for a while, so we're very excited for Ephemera Hour today. And I have a whole nest of ephemera around me. I'm not in the studio with the birds, so there won't be sound effects today.
You're not with the birds, but you're still in a nest. So that's all that matters. Great way to put it. So I am just going to review what's going to happen here with our ephemera hour. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of our personal favorite ephemera. We're going to turn our cameras around eventually and show you some of the stuff that we've been collecting, using for artwork or for art journaling, and just going over, great places to find ephemera and some stuff that we're just loving right now. We'll also talk about a little bit of the ephemera that's coming in the next Art Journal Snacks box, which is shipping out, I think, next week, very soon. So Erin curates a collection of ephemera for that box. So we are going to get a peek at what is being featured in there. And then we will open it up to the audience if you have questions. We do see a little bit of the chat here. So if you have a question, when we get to the question section, hold on to it, and then you can put it in the chat. We'll answer your questions to the best of our ability, and then we'll wrap up from there. How's that sound, Erin?
Sounds good. I'm excited.
Okay, awesome. So I am going to, what do you say we flip our cameras around? Because that's what everyone really came for. I don't know if they want to see our faces, they want to see the ephemera. So I'm just going to change, boop, my contraption here. Here we go. Now I can put this sign to work. Ephemera hour. Erin, I'm going to let you kick it off because you already have some ephemera shown on your screen here. So tell us what's going on here.
Okay, so I put together for us kind of an assortment of things with funny stories to do with it. This one, I've had this ephemera for a very long time. It's an old time. I had an entire stack of these. I have very few left. And some of you maybe remember using a timesheet that went into a punch clock like this. This is from the basement of a industrial building I lived in Brooklyn. There was, unfortunately, a sweatshop in the basement that got raided and was empty. And myself and my my other artists who I lived with, we went down there and found all sorts of weird ephemera. But this was my favorite stuff, these timesheets, because it's so perfect for art journaling, right? It's got days of the week, it's got times.
Mm.
This side has some funny things about overtime. I mean, there's so many possibilities for incorporating this into art journals. So that's very fun.
That
Um,
is cool.
yeah, this one, um, this I got from my grandmother. From this actually came with one of her baby dolls. As you can see, it is a valuable certificate, and it must be because she's turning 90 next month, and she's had it since she was a little girl. So she
Wow.
this valuable certificate, but she gave it to me, which I just love it so much. I love I love everything about it. The text, the funny little baby doll that with the diaper that looks more like a paper bag, and it's polka dotted, which I love. And then you've got this side. Offer only good
Nice.
in the United States, including Alaska. They want to let you know, and Hawaii. This unfortunately expired March 31st, 1959,
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
though.
So, while we are going through some of this ephemera, can you tell us what you might use some of this ephemera for? I'm realizing that not everyone watching is probably an Art Journal Snack subscriber, but you pick up some pieces of paper that might find some inspiration. What would you do with these things?
So this one I think would be just a natural fit. This is the old time clock, time sheet, punch sheet,
Hmm.
because it already has some things on this page that will start you with your journaling, right? So I could imagine using this to kind of keep track of maybe your art making.
Mm,
Thing a punch sheet for, okay, on Monday I started making art at what time and what time did I stop making art, and then I took my lunch break and then I made some more art, right? And you can use it for something like that, or you can use it for goal setting. If you're trying to add a new habit, tracking it this way. And then on this side, if you're feeling particularly stressed out, maybe you do something around these overtime hours. How many overtime hours am I putting into my life?
right.
That would be some way that I would use that.
I love
This,
that.
I think, is just fun. It's a valuable certificate, as you can see.
It's so
So
valuable. I mean, you might want to like frame that on like a thick Bristol board piece of
mhm,
paper.
mhm. I mean, look at the variation in the fonts and the text. It's just so fun. And this arrow, there's just like, "Oh, I think we need an arrow here."
Yeah.
So the other thing that you could do from this is kind of get inspired by it. Maybe you put this on your art journal page and then you do a drawing of this baby larger.
Mm.
Do something fun with it, or play with the dandy dot thing and do a whole polka dotted page to go with
Ah, I see what you're going there.
it. Okay, do you want me to keep going with some of mine, or do you want to share some of yours?
You know what? Now that I've pulled some of mine out, I think
Okay.
I will share a couple and then I'll pass it back to you. How's that sound? All right, I'm going to put that right up there. So I have been doing a little bit of traveling, and I find a lot of inspiration through travel. And I know a lot of the times these days when you're traveling, you get virtual tickets. You can upload a ticket to your phone, and they'll just scan it when you come in. That's not how I roll. When I when I travel, I want I want ephemera. I want travel ephemera. So that's what I've really been picking up on lately. So, for example, we've got, when you check your bag and they put a sticker on your bag. Some of these are mine, some of these are my fiance's, but we have these awesome stickers from American Airlines that are super thick, very sticky. And these are great for collages. They're great for, just adding little weird or like official anecdotes to some of your artwork. And I'm really in a black and white phase right now. I'm not sure if you can tell, but a lot of things here, a lot of my ephemera comes in black and white and is like a very like typewriter-esque typeface. So I'm leaning into that with the travel ephemera. So I'm
And I feel like
collecting.
they're asking you to use it for that because they always print out extra of those stickers for your luggage
Exactly.
kits, and it's just asking to go in your art journal. Like, why else would you use a sticker?
Right. They're like, "Oh, hold on to this, just in case your luggage gets lost." But like at the same time, I've got an air tag on my luggage, so that thing is not going anywhere. So I'm like, "Oh, great. I'll just hold on to this and that's it." Um I was recently in Europe in what's today? March. I was in Europe in February. And I realized that receipts in Europe, they're so unique and they are all the same size, like thickness basically. Like a receipt in the US is usually fat, sometimes it's like the carbon copy, but these are like very I don't know, they're just so organized, and I love being organized, so I held on to majority of my receipts here, to really rip up. I can also they also have, like, I don't know how to explain this paper. How would you explain this paper? It's like it's not tissue paper, but it's not, like, regular printer paper.
Are they thermal prints, Sarah?
I'm not sure what a thermal print is.
So a thermal print makes the black text with heat, and a good way to check it out is with one that you're not all that enamored of, and if you put a little alcohol ink on it, it'll turn the whole page black.
Oh my gosh, we can do that right now, actually. Um, I have an alcohol marker right here.
It reacts with the paper and does weird stuff, which is cool, but sad if it's, like, something that you really wanted and then you put something solvent-based over top.
Does it matter what color the
Nope.
alcohol paper marker is? Okay, great. Because it's purple. Okay, so
Yeah, it'll just, like, do weird stuff after a bit.
okay, then I guess we're gonna just do whatever we want to this, and then we're gonna put it aside and see what happens. This one I am not attached to. Okay,
Cool.
great little experiment for
So
later in the live stream.
I have a couple travel pages in an art journal right here if we wanted to pull it up to just show those same stickers at play.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. So this was from flying down to see my grandmother of the on the trip where I got that valuable
Full
certificate.
circle.
Yeah. So I have my boarding pass here. Have a drawing of myself at the airport and what I had with me. I usually put my
Mhm.
destination, my airport codes there. And then I have another page with my boarding pass over here.
Mm. Oh, yeah. I kept the boarding passes.
Yeah. Let's see, do I have any more travel documents in here? Oh yeah. So this and then this the next week I flew to Oregon. Or no, this is Orange County still. Then I have some more flight documents in here, I think, as well. But this one got a little bit more deeply incorporated in this boarding.
Can you give us like a little bit more of a close up of that? I
Uh,
love that you just added like textures and just like, oh, here's a dainty little butterfly, we're traveling today.
yeah. These are this was a napkin in my grandma's bathroom with
Wow.
these beautiful birds. And napkins are a great little bit of ephemera. And I added some lace because she's a former bridal veil assistant with my aunt. So lots of different things on here. And then
Awesome.
this is ephemera from the first box, which is this wonderful fern.
Oh, I'm gonna pass it back to you. Tell us about the fern.
Yeah, so this, everybody got a little bit of this. This is preserved actual fern that's been bleached out and then preserved. I went to the San Francisco Flower Mart and just had so much fun getting weird things that are for the flower industry. And we can get a really nice close up there.
Yeah, that's good detail. Pull it
Mhm.
back a little bit. There you go. Wow. This is a great example of um, a piece of ephemera that is so precious. When
Mhm.
I got that in my first Art Journal Snacks box, I used one in well, actually, let me see if I can find it. I used one and I actually kept the other because I thought it was so precious. I was like, "I can't use this. It's so nice. When am I ever gonna get another one?" Um, maybe I didn't use it. Oh, I definitely did. Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah.
What's interesting is I think I just used like a regular glue stick on it, and it actually changed the color a little bit. I know I have awful lighting in here as well tonight, but um, it changed the coloring a little bit. But it worked so nicely in the frame. I was like, okay, this is what I'm using for ephemera. The other one I'm holding on to.
Mhm. Perfect. I love that. And
Yeah.
that's that little circle I recognize. I punched out so many circles.
Oh yeah, and actually, this piece kind of looks like what you have in your frame too. Can you
Mhm.
tell us about that?
Yeah, so everybody got some of a dictionary. This is a very special dictionary that was, it belonged to an elder artist who I knew, and I helped her close down her art studio. And one of the things that she gave me in the process of doing that, closing her studio that she'd been in for many, many years, was her dictionary. And it was very well loved. It was missing some pages, and some of the pages were missing parts and pieces, but she used to flip it open and kind of use it as her inspiration. So this page, as I was tearing out pages for the boxes, I saved this one because it has this diagram of the ear, which I really love.
Yeah.
Uh, It's just so cool. And I always like to see on a dictionary page kind of the whole span of words. So we
Hmm.
go from dynamometer, which is
Okay. Excuse you.
an apparatus for measuring power, especially muscular effort of men or animals, or the power developed by a motor or required to operate machinery. Now you
Okay.
know. And the last word on this page is early. So I when I use a dictionary page in an art journal, sometimes I'll use the whole page, and then I'll kind of go through and see what's the story of this page, you know? So there's
Mm,
something about power and hearing and being early. And I might use that as my inspiration.
I love that. I am looking at my so mine is like a pretty jagged slice of the tea section.
Mhm.
So it looks like I have it's cut off over here, but these are tubers. Like for artichokes, if you're planting artichoke, an artichoke tuber. And then at the bottom here, it ends with tuberculoid, um, resembling a tubercle. These are words that I never use. And hey, I mean, learn something new, I guess, when you're playing with ephemera. That's really cool. I think that's like one of my top favorite things besides the fern, the
Mhm.
precious fern. I really loved getting a piece of a dictionary, and it made me question if I could rip up some of my dictionaries that I have at home. Because when was the last time I looked at a dictionary? I
Well,
mean,
exactly. And so we said we'd talk a little bit about different places to get ephemera and dictionaries and thesauruses.
mm.
What's plural of this?
If you know what plural for thesaurus is, please drop it in the comments.
But they're so
Thesaurus.
great. And some hot tips there. Look for children's dictionaries because very often they have even more illustrations in them. Look for language to language dictionaries. Those are really fun. A lot of times they have pictures as well.
Mm.
I also love old encyclopedias, and hint, hint, you may be getting some encyclopedia pages in your next box.
Ooh, oh my gosh, dropping hints, very exciting. Amazing. Oh, I see we have thesaura thesaure
Oh, I
in the
like that.
comments. I like that version too. I wanna show a little bit of, a map that I picked up when I was in Amsterdam earlier this year. I love maps. Um, they're both defined, but they're and structured, but they're also organic at the same time. And
Mhm.
I think that's what I love about it. So, especially, well, Amsterdam is filled with canals. So we have these really beautiful lines of blue on top of gray with all these little typefaces and words. And then there's little buildings on here. I just like fell in love with this map. And when I got it from like the visitor center, I took it and then immediately took out my phone because I obviously was just going to use my phone as a map. Because this is ephemera. I can't use this.
Definitely.
I was immediately inspired. And something that's similar to this, Erin, I thought of you the other day when I got my Viore magazine. We were chatting about this a couple days ago. This is not sponsored by Viore, but
But they can send us pants if they want.
exactly. Feel free to send us pants, but even better, keep sending us ephemera.
Yes.
One of my favorite places to find ephemera is things that just come in my mailbox. And this is just a magazine that I happen to be on the mailing list for. And I actually went through it and picked out a couple pages that I love. And Erin and I were just drooling over the lines in the background of this photo shoot. I'm obsessed.
Yep.
I kept them in here to show off on the live stream, but immediately following the live stream, I will be ripping them out. They're
That was
just,
with the shadow on that one. Like you could do something so fun. Sorry, dude,
yeah,
but you're gonna get cut out because we we want the lines.
yeah, we're gonna cut you out. We want the lines, we want the shadows. It's like so abstract. I'm just, I love it. I love these lines. Very reminiscent of a map, and could very well be something in the making here.
Oh, totally.
Even just like juxtaposing them together and having like these blue lines meet these white lines. Oh,
Super fun.
I am getting excited. I'll pass it over to you, Erin. What else do you have to show us?
Well, this is probably my favorite piece of ephemera in the whole wide world.
Oh no, it's another precious piece of ephemera.
This is like a super precious piece of ephemera. So this is a brush bag like you would get at that you would get at the art supply store with your brushes in it.
Mm-hmm.
And look at how beautiful. Well, first of all, look at the paper. Like, oh my
Is
goodness.
that Grumbacher?
Yes, it is.
Ah, okay. I
Look,
know that brand.
look at how it's held together with staples.
I love that.
This may have been done in the store, but it also may have been done by the, by the artist afterwards. It's so funny. And then look at this, where it says artist brushes and it has all the different types and
I
all the
love
different.
it.
But then look at this side. Oh
Oh,
my!
this is gold.
Look at how beautiful this is.
Okay,
I've
we've got easels, canvas and paper, MG quick drying white. I mean, what are these?
yeah, some of the materials I'm like, oh, do we still have that? I don't know. I mean, gel transparentizer for oil color. I don't so maybe that is still a thing, but I love that. So this is something that I would have to think really hard about incorporating into my art journal. I
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that with a particularly lovely piece of ephemera like this, I will photocopy it and use the copy.
Oh, that's a hot
But
tip right there.
yeah, because you know what? Once I touch this with matte medium or something else, it's going to change the color and it might move around some of this lovely dust that this piece has built up. Whereas I could photograph it or I could photocopy it and
Right.
get a nice clear photocopy. And then you could have like both sides, right? Because this is the other ephemera trouble.
Oh,
What when
go
you love
on.
both sides of something? Now with the
Yes.
you're in luck because you can take it apart. But with a magazine or something else, what do you do when you love both sides? It's tricky. You have to make some choices.
That is tricky. I'm like looking at things right now and seeing if there's stuff that I like. Probably the map has the most like double-sided stuff.
Mhm.
But I think that's a really good tip. If you like both sides of something, just photocopy it,
Yep.
or photograph it. How long have you had that piece of ephemera?
I've had this for quite a while. Probably I think I got this when I was in Brooklyn. So I think this might have moved across the country with me.
Wow.
Much like these did. So I have some ephemera that I've been moving around for a while.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Wow. Yeah, I can't say that I dug up any of my ephemera that I've been holding on to for years, but that's another live stream. Let's see. I think my last thing I want to show from my end. So I am getting married next year. So I've got a ton of like wedding ephemera things too. Most recently, I have some magazines for wedding inspiration, but I've also have some invitation pieces, name cards, things that you order for just to see like what the samples look like before you actually put in the order. I don't have them here, but I do have this magazine, which has been a wonderful source of inspiration. Um, Whether it's actually collecting faces, um, I love collecting faces, whether it's just the mouth, the nose, the eyes, just you never know where, you could put, let me just put this mouth on a turtle. Like that is that is how like I'm feeling today. I'm feeling like a turtle needs some like beautiful lips or something
Mhm.
like that, or closed eyes. So sometimes like I go in and I pick out some details of faces and I put them in other places. So I look for a lot of portraits when I'm going through magazines. And then also, granted, I am in a black and white phase right now with all of my tickets and my receipts. I'm really loving color too. So, um, this magazine happens to have like a whole review section of people's weddings. And I am immediately drawn to the ones that are filled with the most color. So I'm looking at this like beautiful tunnel that this couple walked through and immediately imagining what I can do if I cut out this aisle here and put something else in it. Like, how fun is this whole archway? It just gives off like a whole different vibe. And the second I cut it out and put it in a sketchbook spread and start adding my own feelings to it, I think it can just really take me in a lot of different places. So,
Oh my
oh
gosh. So
yeah. So that is other things that I am dog earing, or I'm putting some post-it notes on things that I like to keep in mind before I actually rip them out. Because I
mhm,
do read the magazine first and then I start ripping stuff out.
good plan. So
Yeah.
it makes me think of that page you just showed makes me think of this piece of ephemera that I actually received from someone in the Art Journal Snacks community. So thank
Oh,
you, Jody. Jody sent me this. And it goes so beautifully with that. Someone should screenshot this.
it really does. I'm
Yeah,
afraid to screenshot it because I don't want to shut my phone off.
yeah,
But if
screenshot it
someone
later.
is screenshotting this, please do.
So if you look closely, you might be able to tell what this is. This is just a page of page reinforcers. And
Oh.
looks like, let's see, it looks like maybe alcohol ink and maybe stamp pad and maybe um, ink pad ink.
Mm-hmm.
And and then a little bit of scribbling. But then what you have are concentric circles, little dots, all sorts of things. So this is how I received it, partially loved, and I'm so excited to incorporate this in on something. But what a great way to use some supplies that might be in your desk and maybe at the back of your desk because not many people are using loose leaf paper these days, unless you're me. Uh, great idea for how to make your own ephemera.
I love that. Yeah, I can definitely see the relationship between the
Mhm,
colors here and the colors that you've got.
mhm.
Um, for another live stream, I will show off all of the ephemera that people have been sending me. I have a small collection. They're kind of like mixed together now, but ArtSnacks does have a PO box. So every once in a while, when I check the PO box, people have been sending me envelopes filled with ephemera. So if you're watching and you sent me one, thank you so much. I'm sorry if I didn't get back to you, but um, I will absolutely document the ephemera that I was sent as well. So thank you. I do want to check in real quick with my alcohol marker experiment.
Mhm.
And I have to say, it is working. It's a little hard to tell, uh, but there is blue outlining this purple.
Interesting.
Yeah, let me see if I can get like a little light. Do you see this like little blue puddle?
Yeah. What
So, oh,
side?
oh, go ahead.
What does it look like on the other side? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
the other side is there's no other color showing through, but I mean, I think this is like white that showed up.
Hmm,
I think I need to give it a little bit more time, but this does solve our mystery of, is this thermo paper? Is that what you were saying?
a thermal print, yeah.
Thermal print.
Mhm.
Huh. All right, European receipts. Thermo print. Who knew? Awesome. All right, we'll check in on that much later. So
Well,
we are, let's see, we're
I
about
have some
an hour
printing.
in. Oh, go ahead, Erin. Sorry.
I said I have something printing related.
Ooh, please share. Oh my gosh. All right,
Sorry.
we got a wild card here. What's going on?
So, some of you who have studied some anatomy may recognize what's going on here. Um, these are abdominal cross-section x-rays. These are not mine. Um,
I am so curious. Where in the world did you find these?
so I found these on Knickerbocker Avenue in Bushwick, Brooklyn in probably 2007. In their whole envelope, someone had dropped them maybe on the way to the hospital or on the way home. They were nowhere to be found. I absconded with their abdominal x-rays.
Oh my
I've
god.
had them ever since. I've not done anything with them yet. But maybe the next Art Journal Snacks Journal will be the time that I finally use some of these. So
Oh my gosh. So is this view is like the top down if you're looking like
yes.
from bird's
Slight
eye view inside a body?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you can see the spinal column here.
Oh wow. Okay. All I see is a face. Does that mean
Yeah.
anything?
I mean, we could put like googly eyes on it.
I have some lips in a magazine if you're
Oh my
interested.
gosh. We will need that for sure.
I mean, can you put them back up to the screen?
Oh,
It's yeah. I can imagine just like cutting out the earrings and adding the
mhm.
earrings on the side too. I'm
I see
into it.
commenting in the chat, and Bernie, this is right up your alley.
That's amazing. I mean, that's more like it could be like a spooky
Yeah.
um themed ephemera where it's
Mhm.
like a book of x-rays with um human faces on them. I think we
Yeah.
have a project like
Yeah.
brewing here.
No, but here is the fun thing about this though, because it's X-ray and it's got those clear parts, right? You can
Yep.
see the text ephemera through it.
Oh, you're
So
right.
you could put something like baby brush.
Or
And
put a baby, put the
mhm.
little baby
Oh,
in the abdomen.
there's the baby peeking out.
That's amazing. All right. That's awesome. Any other wild cards you want to throw our way?
Ooh.
I know you're sitting in a nest, so
Yeah.
I'd like
Oh,
to see what else is going on there.
one more beautiful piece of ephemera that I haven't used yet.
Okay.
And I think I showed this to you and Lee at one point. This is
Mm.
um I think it's for registering earthquakes, but I
Oh.
remember. Um anyways, I just like look how beautiful. So it's translucent. It's got something going across that way. But look how beautiful these timestamps are. Those are actually stamped on, whereas this background part is printed and then
Hmm.
stamped on. Oh my gosh, love it so much.
Wow.
Got the beautiful perforated sides there.
And that's just a piece. Do you think
Hmm.
it came like on a roll?
Yeah, I think so because look at how it sits.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I think it was maybe in a roll. I found it in amongst some random paper stuff. Uh, really love it.
That seems like a special one that I would hold on to for a while
Mhm.
as well.
Figure out what it's for. Yeah.
All right. So let's see. I want to head over to our sneak peek at some of the ephemera that is coming in the next Art Journal Snacks box, which is the spring box. I'm curious if there are any Art Journal Snacks subscribers watching. So if you are an Art Journal Snacks subscriber, drop your name in the chat, say hello. Um, And Erin, please tell us. Well, you don't have to spoil everything, but whatever you want to share with us, give us an idea of what's coming in the next Art Journal Snacks box.
Okay. So one thing I can show you the aftermath. The
Okay.
aftermath of getting the ephemera for you all. So I had this book that was falling apart. So here's another tip for getting materials, getting ephemera is go to your library discard sale or places where folks are getting rid of old library books, because the good thing about an older library book as opposed to a book from like a thrift store is they're much more likely to be really beat up and really kind of wonderful. Um, so this was, I mean, look at how fabulous this cover is too, right?
Yeah, love that.
It's kind of a problematic book. I went through it and got rid of, or am not sending you all some of the problematic pages in this book, but
Thank you in advance.
um, but it did have this, which sorry everyone, I'm saving this. I'm keeping this one.
You didn't make copies of that? That's amazing.
Cool. And then here's the actual library checkout page, which is so fun. Look at and see again, this is the kind of stuff that I just love. Look at this wonderful stamp that says this was at the central location of my county's
I
library.
love that.
Yeah, and the little check mark. So fun. Okay, so one thing that will be in the next box is some pages from this book that I cut up. It had illustrations of instruments. I can show you one of the other ones that I held on to, and you'll see why.
Okay.
This was one of the instruments that was in that book.
Whoa. Oh my gosh. Can you bring it closer? I want to see a little bit
Yeah.
more detail.
So, any guesses as to why I held on to this one? Look at all these birds.
I mean, yeah, the birds, of course. Wow,
Yeah.
that is so unique. I want
Yeah.
to like color it in.
Mhm. Mhm. And so that might be something that people do. A thing to know for the next box is that quite a bit of the ephemera in the next box come from old books or old magazines. And so
Mm,
the paper is going to be, I think, both fun and a challenge to work with, meaning
mhm,
that it's going to behave unpredictably, right? Because this paper from this book is pretty thick.
mhm.
Um, it's very soft. It's going to take watercolor beautifully. It'll take colored pencil really beautifully.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was just about to ask like what would be the best art supplies to pair it with.
yeah, here's another of
Oh,
that same instrument.
oh my gosh, it's so cool.
Um, it may be a little bit, you may get a little bit of bleeding from a fine point pen on it, but
Okay.
again, you'll have to experiment. Um, so that's one of the things, and that's also kind of a thing to know about some of the ephemera, because I've also cut up a couple other old books, an old magazine, uh,
Nice.
old magazine, and then a printed version from magazines. Here's some of the things that I saved from it. These are, I think this magazine was from the 1920s.
What?
And look at this, so bad. So I thought this was kind of a fun
I
one
love
because
that. The gentle like point.
Mhm. And then one of the other things that I love old books for and old magazines in particular, this is a Tiffany's ad. Again, not a sponsor, but hey, if you want to send us stuff, Tiffany's, that's fine.
Look at that typeface.
I know. Look how beautiful that is.
Okay, so here's another great example of a page that has fantastic ephemera on both sides.
Mm,
Wow. Okay, I'm into this.
yeah.
Also, so iconic for Tiffany's to just have a spread of text and not show any visuals of what their products look like.
Hmm. Yeah. So very beautiful. But now, one of the things that you'll see, you can see how worn the edges of this are, and
Mm,
then when it's folded, it really kind of, some of the creases, it'll tear very easily. This is the kind of ephemera that I would suggest putting your adhesive down on your page and then kind of putting it down and ripping it as you're putting it down. So playing up that old, worn, beautiful, well-loved ephemera.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will tease one more thing, and I'm just gonna let me see if I can just show you a tiny bit. Yeah.
That's all you're showing us?
I don't want to give too much away. They will all be different, but one of the things that you all are going to receive, and I was so excited to hunt this down.
Wow.
What you can expect is whimsical illustrations, some gold detailing, and it's going to be really fun to incorporate. And
Is it
there's
is
a
it
lot.
is it small? Is it big? Is it cut up? Give us some other
Mm,
clues.
some of the so they're kind of all different sizes. So this is the thing about ephemera, right? Like you can all expect in your Art Journal Snacks boxes that you'll get the same supplies. You'll get different colors maybe, but you'll get the same supplies. But your
Mm,
ephemera, some of it will be the same and some of it everybody's will be different.
got
So
it. Okay.
we have, let's see, I think we have 10 or 15 different of this. Different types, different looks. Some of them are folded, some of them are smaller. It's a little bit of everything. So
I love that you're just giving us a little corner. Oh, we have some guesses in the chat. It looks like a beer label.
oh, good guess, but no.
If anybody else has a guess, can you show us the corner again?
Uh-huh.
If anybody has a guess, feel free to drop it in the chat. This is very intriguing. I see a little bit of a green. My first thought was a label as well, maybe from like a can or something.
Uh,
Interesting.
if you could see me right now, you'd see me touching my nose, the side of my nose, tapping the side of my nose.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all the sneak peeks you're gonna give us tonight.
Let me see. Oh, okay. So this is not a sneak peek of a thing in the box, but it's something I'm going to use with a thing in the box. And I'm going
Ooh,
to
okay.
encourage you all to look for this. So if you get anything in the next little while that comes with this kind of packaging, have you seen this before?
Yes,
I,
I have.
I love this packaging so much. Every time I get something wrapped in it, I'm just like, what can I do with this? We are going to do something with it. You don't have to have this, but if in the next couple of weeks you happen to get anything wrapped with this, hold on to a little bit of it because we are going to get something that you may want paper with holes. We,
Oh.
we may be experimenting with a little bit of weaving in our art journals
Oh my
this next.
gosh.
So
Okay, good to know.
the so this I think would just be ideal for that. So
That's awesome.
Mhm.
I will keep a lookout for that. That just reminded me I got a package the other day, and I don't get any of that crinkled what do you call that? Crinkled mesh, like paper mesh or something?
Mhm. Mhm.
Instead, I get this, which is just like filler paper. It's like
Yes.
newsprint.
Yes, and
Yes, and I mean, yeah, I could use this for stuff, but it's
yeah,
not as unique as what you have.
it's not, but it could be. So,
Yeah, you're right.
uh,
It
so
could.
that's another tease for the next box as well.
What, this filler paper?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
So this next box has quite a bit of material that I've created for you. So we have kind of an assortment of
Mm.
very, very vintage papers, as well as some things that I've made for you.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so exciting.
And then
Okay.
15 of the boxes, so only 15, have something that my studio companions made for you.
Your intern? No, that's not your interns. Or are they your interns?
They're what would they be? They are my support staff. How
Your
about that?
support staff. Only 15 boxes got
Yeah,
a piece of ephemera from the support staff.
yes. So there
Uh,
are some Sammy feathers, there are some feathers from Griffin, my smaller conure, and then
aw.
there are a few feathers from my pigeons. So some white feathers from the pigeons.
My fingers are crossed that I get a bird box. Okay, well, that is definitely gonna, like, leave us hanging, basically.
Mhm.
You will get, for those of you who are subscribed, you'll get a tracking number via email, um, for when your box ships out, probably next week. They're all packed and ready to go. They just need to have, shipping labels put on them. So we're very excited about that. I'm very excited about it and can't wait to add to my art journal. I have to say, I am not one of those who speeds through an art journal. I do have a bunch of pages left. So I'm going to have to figure out how I want to um, continue with Art Journal Snacks because every box comes with a new art journal. It's we've tested this journal so that you can fill it up in a quarter, and when it comes to the time frame, so every quarter you'll get a new one. But maybe I've just been busy and I haven't been able to fill it up. But this is what mine looks like right now. It's got a couple good spreads, a couple ones that I just like. I liked the ads and I just threw it in. Nothing else to add to it. And then a couple ones that want to like be played around with. And then I've got like some of mine that I feel really confident about. This one I just did on the last live stream. I think I called it a bad hair day. But we were discussing the lesson was really on um, working with uh, dark and light. So this is an exploration in dark and light, and I feel like I was able to really conquer it in one night. So yeah, I've got a couple pages left, but Erin, I see you have yours out. Want to
Mhm.
share what you've been filling yours up with?
Yep, so this is the view that I love to show. This is my favorite view of an art journal is looking at the sides.
Nice.
You can see it's been very well loved and it's pretty much done. I'm almost done. I'll probably do the last little page here, finishing up this page on our mix group,
Mm.
but it is almost filled.
Is
And
there a spread that you are really loving, like one that you just really love to look at?
mm, I think this one came out really fun. This is my dog looking very guilty the way only a lab can look. But what I really like about what's happening on this page is kind of the edge here, the edge of this hot dog bag, and the scribbles that are underneath, and then this is over the top, but the pencil kind of shows through. So I love all the different
Wait
textures.
a minute. Wait a minute. That's a hot dog bag?
Yes.
I thought I'm looking at this thinking you like cut out the letters and
Mm-mm,
put them
no.
on.
Yeah, so this part is ripped and put on, and then I did that and felt like, well, that is just asking for a drawing of my dog. If you look closely, I used that neon orange paint pen that we got in our first box, so there's a
Oh,
little bit and
wow.
it's
I really love this. And it's just so interesting how you can fill a page with just textures, or you can fill a page with a bunch of different pieces of ephemera, or just one piece of ephemera, your hot
mm,
dog bag, and a drawing.
yeah,
Really, really interesting. Can you show us another spread?
sure. Let's see. We can show this one, which I worked on a live stream, and this is how it got finished up.
Oh,
So
nice.
actually, this is from that same music book that I cut up. This is one of the pages from that. And this was also part of an instrument down here. And this
Wow.
is,
I mean, I see a bird. Do you see a bird?
I see a snake.
Oh, I see the snake too. Yeah, I see like the eye of a bird,
Mhm,
um, and the pieces with the white on the bottom of that side.
mhm.
On the right side is sort of like jagged feathers.
Oh, okay, I see it.
I love the on the right side, the white scribbly lines. Is that a print or is that art supplies?
This is art supplies here.
Very cool. It almost looks like you printed that from like a printer or it's like
Yeah,
something ripped out of a magazine.
ink with salt, and then of course glitter.
Of course. Um, Interesting. And for those of you who are watching that are not in the art journaling world, this is honestly just a taste of what it could look like. Erin has been art journaling for decades. And, um, I think you've sort of like picked up your own style while
Mhm.
you've been going along and filling up books. Um, and the best part about art journaling is that everyone's books look different. Like the cover of my book is way too precious to me right now, whereas Erin's is so colorful and just a complete reflection of you, which I love. So that's the glory of art journaling. You could keep the outside completely bare and then fill it with, layers, colors, textures, or just, one thing that just catches your eye like this. Like this page might be done.
Mhm. Yeah,
It might be
and I
done.
think that's really what's so fun about it is there aren't really any rules, and it can be whatever you want it to be, and it can evolve however you would like it to evolve, and sometimes that comes from things inside of you, and sometimes it comes from all the wonderful ephemera that you can find out in the world.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Let's see. So we've got about 10 minutes left. I am just going to peruse in the chat right here, see if anybody has any thoughts. Let's see. My art journal is in the same state. I plan to use um, my first to bring to our Zoom, and then the new one will be my actual journal. Erin, have you ever worked with multiple journals before? Or
She
are you just
asked,
working
I
in
sit here with 2 in front of me right now.
one?
So, because I've been doing so many things for Art Journal Snacks, it's meant that I have had multiple journals going at once because I'll need to be demoing something, and so I'll be working in one, and something else is drying, or something else is like all taped up. So, I
Mhm.
am working in multiple journals right now. The other time that I'll do that is if I'm doing kind of my regular art journal, and then doing a journal that's more for either a trip or for a specific purpose, like an ink drawing challenge or another monthly challenge, that I will generally work in a separate book.
Got it. Okay. So I see some questions are coming in. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat. We'll start down here and then we'll flip to our faces in a couple minutes. But the first question that I see is how do you adhere fabric or lace in a way that doesn't get really stiff or change color? Erin, what do you think?
So it depends on the fabric and the lace and then what else is on the page to begin with. A lot of times what I like to do is start with some things on the page and then add that fabric or lace afterwards. Let me go to a page that has a little bit of lace on it. Here. Okay. So with this page, this has a lot of layers on it before I added the lace, and then I added more afterwards. So this had the napkin, and then this mesh, the tulle, like veiling,
Mm-hmm.
and then over top of that. So this is with matte medium on this page. Matte medium's great. I like to have a variety of matte mediums around because there are some that are very, very matte. And those are great if you have a page that you're worried about it getting stuck together because it's not going to stick one side to the other. I like to put the lace on with matte medium and then go over the top again with other materials. So this is actually acrylic ink and wax crayon. Wax crayon is a great way to keep the pages from sticking together.
Oh, that's a hot tip, actually.
Yeah. I've learned the hard way. I love Yes Paste. I love the texture it creates, but the problem with Yes Paste on a journal page, especially a well-loved journal like an art journal, is
Mhm.
that as your page moves and the yes paste dries, if you put it on thick, which gets the nice texture, it
Yeah.
will start to crack. And if you don't seal it with something else, it's going to crack and fall off. So that one, I like that adhesive, but it sometimes doesn't do great. Um,
Uh,
Plain old Elmer's glue is wonderful. That works really well. I like PVA glue, which is just basically Elmer's glue, but for bookbinders. And I keep a little bit of all of the adhesives around. Um, with fabric, like a printed fabric, I like to saturate it all the way. One of the problems that some people have is they'll put like dots of glue and then put their fabric, and then the dots will discolor or show through the fabric. If you saturate it all the way, it'll be even, and that helps quite a bit.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for the demo. We
Mhm.
have a bunch of questions coming in. I'm gonna start off with um, any pro tips for organizing your ephemera once you've collected. I have a great tip for this, and I am gonna show you two places. I'm very like type A organized lady, so all of my ephemera is kept in this binder. All of my small ephemera is kept in this binder. So it's like one of these like file folders where there's a bunch of different sections, and I just always have it out because I'm always adding stuff to it. And I actually divide everything up by color. So I've got
Hmm.
my blue section. It's funny, Lee actually gave this to me because he was like, "Wow, your ephemera is really disorganized." So a couple years ago, I just started from scratch, white, gray, and black. So that's just how I organize all of my ephemera. Everyone does it differently. But it's nice because sometimes I like to uh, take my ephemera with me on the weekends. If I like go to a park or if I'm doing like a weekend away, I'll literally just take this giant thing with me so that I can just choose as I go along. The other thing that I have that I absolutely love, this is my letters box. And it's filled with just letters that I've cut out from magazines or phrases or words or anything like that. So, um, great example when I was making this little sign for Ephemera Hour, I just opened my little letters box and went through all the letters, picked out which ones I needed. I always have this open if I'm making cards or if I am collaging. Like, look at this P. Look how beautiful this P is. Such like, but it's
Ooh.
also like a really just great shape that can just fit in any different direction. So um, that is how I keep my ephemera organized. I have a box and I have a file folder. Erin, want to quickly tell us how you keep organized?
Yeah. So similarly, but on a much bigger scale. I love those accordion files. I have quite a few of those that I use for kind of organizing
Yay.
specific types of ephemera. I also have a little, it's like a 12 drawer little um, cabinet thing that
Okay.
I organize by color. Um, and so that is great for kind of odds and ends, leftover things, right? So, like a piece like this that's
Hmm.
cut, the marbled paper, I would tend to put this in like the yellow or the orange drawer. And then when I'm looking for something that is that color, I can just go to straight to that drawer. It's also a great way to clean up after I've been making a big mess. Is it's easy to just file stuff by color. I also keep a box that's all words and phrases cut up. Because I'm an art therapist, those boxes come in very handy. So I have animals, I have people, I have places, I have objects, I have backgrounds, and then I have collage material for specific topics. I had an older adult once who saw all my boxes of things, and he said, "Is this your full time job?"
It could be.
Meaning is cutting things out of magazines and putting them in boxes your full-time job. And I said, well, kind of.
That if that was a full-time job, like in a corporate office, sign me up.
Oh, right.
That would be amazing. So we have one more question, and then we're gonna wrap up here. And this is a really good one. What? Oh, sorry, the chat just like disappeared on me for some reason. Oh, here we go. Um, when I think of a journal, I think of writing. Does your journal tell a story? Does your art journal tell a story? Erin, do you want to answer that question?
Yeah. So definitely it tells a story. Um, Definitely writing gets incorporated in. Sometimes it's writing large, sometimes it's writing full thoughts. And I always think about my journals because I use them over time, right? So this one has a start date, it'll have an end date, and it tells the story of that time in my life. Or if I'm using it as a travel journal, it'll tell the story of my travel. And I
Mm,
really think about what's different about an art journal versus a written journal to tell your story is it's incorporating not just I went to visit my grandma. It's all the different things about I went to visit my grandma, including my grandma's little face on the paper doll here. True. Um, so it tells your story in a more textured, visual, holistic, emotional way, more so than just writing. But writing is good too. You can fill whole pages with writing and then add more things on top.
that was such a beautiful way to describe it. You know, when you think of art journaling, um, it's not just drawing pictures and cutting things out. It's, you know, adding thoughts and feelings and writings. And whether it's words cut out from a magazine or your own distinct handwriting, um, the story definitely comes with it, no matter what you're putting into it. So very cool. So I am going to turn my camera around so that we can look at our faces as we close up a little bit. Woo! Okay, so I'm a little crooked. Can you tell my the art of my wall is a little crooked, but it's fine. So we are at our 60-minute mark, a literal hour, the ephemera. I want to thank everybody for watching. Before we sign off, if you are curious about Art Journal Snacks, please head to artsnacks.co/artjournalsnacks. It should be in the text of YouTube down below in the description. At the moment, we are totally sold out of the spring box, which is incredible. So thank you for your support. So if you go to artsnacks.co/artjournalsnacks, you can get on the wait list. And the wait list does move. Like people are dropping off the wait list. We'll send you a text message when a new spot opens. So
And
put
let me
yourself on.
the next box is going to be really awesome too. I've already started collecting ephemera and it's stacking up in the studio and
Yay!
really good. So get on
Okay.
that.
That is awesome. I actually have something else that is going into the box too. So um, get yourself on the wait list if you are eager to join. If you're already a member, thank you so much. Erin, how can we stay in touch with you if people just want to see your artistic musings?
Absolutely. So I'm at Two Little Wings on Instagram, the number two and Little Wings. Again, probably no surprise that it's bird related. So if you follow Instagram, you'll get some art, you'll get some ephemera hunting, and you'll see lots of bird content. You can also follow at Art Journal Snacks on Instagram and see some behind the scenes. You'll see some of the ephemera getting created or curated. You'll see some of the wonderful creations that other art journalers are creating for there. And you should definitely join Mix and join our group there because we are really having so much fun in the Art Journal Snacks community and elsewhere on Mix as well.
Awesome. So Erin, thank you so much for your time. This was so much fun. I'm very inspired, and I can see in the chat everyone else is inspired as well. So if you want to follow me, I'm at ArtSnacks, and I'm also at Sarah Rubes. But in the meantime, we'll catch you all later. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, everybody. It's so fun.
Yay. All right. Have a good night, Erin. Bye.